In our subject, we will be discussing about designing of various machine elements. First of all, what is meant by machine and what is meant by elements? Machine elements. Machine is a collective component which contains several elements like bolt, nut, and other series like uh, plates and all. Okay, it comprises very small elements, and it is those elements are assembled to form a working machine. Okay, so in order for the machine to work perfectly, we will be needing some small elements to be working very effectively and efficiently. Okay, if you see in our syllabus, we will be discussing about few elements which contribute somewhat major importance and major role in machines in a machine. In first unit, we will be discussing we have machine design, what is meant by machine design, and basic introduction to the machine design, and then what are all the concepts that we have to learn for designing a machine. Okay, what are the contributions by several areas, that is engineering material, what materials has to be uh, known, what are the materials that we have to identify for a particular machine. Then we will be discussing about brief overview of design and manufacturing, because manufacturing is directly proportional, that is design directly influences manufacturing, because whatever the design that we are giving, it will be manufactured in a company. Okay, when a design engineer is providing some drawings related to a particular product, it will be manufactured accordingly. Is my slide visible? Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, okay,
Sir.
okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Let's resume. In first unit, we will be discussing those introductory part first. First half comprises of what is design and what are all the materials that we have to consider for designing. Then we will be discussing about various manufacturing processes and what are the influences of this design in those manufacturing processes. That is first half. The next second half comprises actually first half is not that over. Okay, first half also comprises the introductory part to principal stresses and failure theories, because for any machine or any component to perfectly function, we have to consider the failure of that product, because a failure of the particular product determines its life and also its functionality. So we have to identify how it will fail and when it will fail. For that we will be needing failure theory knowledge. So we will be discussing about failure theories. There is somewhat five failure theories are there. According to those theories, uh, several formula, five formulas or relations devised. Those relations will be applied to find out when the what is the um, major stress that a component can withstand, what is the bending stress that it can withstand, what is the maximum shear stress it will withstand. Like that, we will be finding various uh, various stresses according to that failure theory. Okay, we will be applying this failure theory to find out the what point it will failure. Okay, what point the failure will occur, we will find it using this failure theory concept. So we will be discussing these concepts in the first half of the first unit. In the second half of the first unit, we will be discussing about welded joints, that is permanent joint, somewhat permanent joint. uh, Permanent joints we will be discussing particularly about welded joints alone. There is several permanent joints are available. Have you studied any permanent joints other than welded joints in your previous subjects? I think you have
Rivets.
studied in machine drawing. Yeah, rivets somewhat it is a permanent only, but it can be removed also. Removal of rivet can, it will cause some permanent damage to the rivet, but it is somewhat permanent only. So it is also a permanent joint. Then we, in this subject, we will discuss only about welded joint, how and how we have to design the welded joint, and what is the load that it will withstand, what are the different types of loads that will act on the welded joints, and how we have to dimension, how for all about what dimension we have to weld the particular component. That's what we will be discussing in the first unit. uh, in this case, if we consider designing of any component, it is nothing but finding out the perfect dimension of that particular component according to the required loading conditions. Okay, first of all, you have to keep it in mind that we are designing means it is nothing but we are finding out the exact dimensions and what to say, material dimensions and other properties of that particular component. If you are buying a bolt or a nut for a particular for particular application, means you will be going to a shop and buying some specification, right? You will be asking for a 5 mm bolt or 10 mm bolt. That is nothing but some specification dimension of that particular bolt or any other component. That dimension we will be finding out in this subject, those dimensions and various types of what is it, various type of that particular component which we are using. Those things only we have to find in this subject. In the case of first unit, for welded joint, you will be finding out how much dimension we have to weld, that is how much length there has to be, the component has to be joined by welding. That is nothing but welded joint design. We will be discussing that. Then next, what are the various other types of loads that will be acting on that particular welded joint. For that particular for that particular loading condition, what will be the design procedure? We will be discussing those things in first unit. Simply to say, first unit is major it's about designing welded joint. Okay, in the case of second unit, we will be discussing about power screws and threaded joints. Okay, power screws and threaded joints will be designing. We will be designing these two types of components, machine elements. In case of power screws, we will be discussing about strength and stability criteria for a power screw, and also we will be designing the power screw dimensions. That is, power screw means what are the dimensions that we will be having. First of all, what is a power screw? Can anybody tell about power screw? What is a power screw? Can anybody chat or tell it by unmuting? You can unmute and speak. You have your screen. You can just unmute and speak freely. You can ask during any session. If you are having any doubts, you can ask also. Anybody there?
Sir, it convert rotary motion into linear motion, sir.
Linear motion. Okay, that's right. Okay, power screw. Have you seen power screw in any machine component? Can you machine any machine? You can state the machine where you have seen it. Any application oriented example? Can you mention anything?
Sir, screw jack.
Screw jack. Okay, that's also some sort of power screw. Okay, screw jack. Other than that, any other component have you seen? In lathe, have you seen the bed movement? Lathe bed movement, have you seen it? There will be screw will be there. Power screw will be there. Depending upon your movement of bed, it will rotate. It will convert the rotary movement into linear. Okay, there also you can see the power screw. Like that, power screws are used in many applications. That power screw plays a vital role in some movement, that is rotary to linear motion transformation. So it should be working perfectly. It almost transmits some power. Okay, so we have to design it carefully. So we will be discussing about design of power screws. Then threaded joints. Threaded joints, it means bolted joints and other joints that contain some threads, studs and bolts and all comes under this category, threaded joints. In threaded joint also, we will be designing what size of bolt we are going to use for particular component or particular application. Then if you see, in case of power screws, what will be the dimension that you will be calculating? Can anybody give your thought of what dimension we will be needing for that power screw dimension? In case of welded joint, I said we will be finding out the dimension of the weldment area, that is how long length we have to weld for particular two plates to be joined. In case of power screws, what will be the dimension that we will be measuring in power screw? Power screw is like a threaded screw only. Okay, what will be the dimensions that you will be having in that component?
M20, M10.
Okay, you are explaining some term. I am asking you like diameter, like that you can
3.2
state some.
mm, sir.
No,
3.2.
not that I am asking. I am asking you to say that what will be the term that will be used, that we will be calculating. For example, if you see, for weldment we will be calculating length. For power screws we will be calculating what are the terms that will be present in screws. Can you say that is simple screw? If you take, we will be having some curves, right? Helical curves will be there with some protrusions at particular interval. It will repeat, right? What will be the term that will be asking stating for that repetition?
Sir, pressure லாம் calculate பண்ணணும் sir.
Okay, not that. I am asking you. I will tell the term itself. We will be calculating pitch. Pitch will be some pitch will be the term which the repetition of that turn will occur, right? You understand what I am saying? We will be calculating pitch for the power screw. Then length of the screw up to which the screw will be there. Length of the screw and pitch will be calculating. Then diameters of the inner and outer diameters we will be calculating. Like that, we will be calculating several dimensions for the power screws. Those are all the dimensions which we will be calculating using this design of machine element subject. Similarly, for threaded joints, if you take bolted joints, that is bolt, you will be calculating what will be the diameter of the bolt and also thread pitch what will be there. Then bolt head dimension, those things we will be calculating. Okay, you understand what I am saying? These are all the dimensions which we have to calculate for designing a power screws and bolted joints. Okay, for several loading conditions, similarly we will be finding out the dimensions of those particular components. That is, for example, bolted joint. In that case, bolt or hexagonal bolt or whatever you select. Okay, studs also we will be designing in the similar manner. Then let's go for the next unit discussion. In third unit we will be designing couplings. You have studied about couplings in previous semesters. In what subject you studied? In the previous semester you have studied couplings also, right? You have studied in which subject about the couplings? Machine drawing. You have drawn few types of couplings diagrams, right? You have drawn muff coupling, flange coupling, split muff coupling, sleeve coupling, yeah, universal coupling also somewhat same. Those couplings you have designed, right? Sorry, you have drawn. What are the dimensions which you draw while drawing the couplings? Diameters, length, separation of bolt spacing, right? Bolt spacing you will be drawing, right? How much spacing it will be placed, those things we have to design in this subject. Okay, we will be designing rigid and flange couplings. In rigid couplings means it is nothing but split muff and muff couplings only will be it is termed as rigid couplings. Then we will be discussing about clutches and clutch design. In case of clutches, plate clutch we will be studying single plate clutch or multi plate clutch, and also we will be designing how many plates we have to use and how much friction is acting on that, and how we have to apply how much radius spacing we have to place it in that clutches. Those things we will be discussing. Similarly, in brakes also we will be discussing about the brake design similarly. So in third unit we can if you see, we will be designing couplings, clutches and brakes. These three major machine elements we will be designing. Okay. In case of fourth unit, similar to previous units, we will be discussing about another component, that is helical spring. Springs we will be discussing. In case of springs, we are having helical spring and leaf spring. In our subject, in our syllabus, we are having helical and leaf springs. We will be discussing about helical springs and leaf springs, and various loading conditions we will be designing according to those various loading conditions. And also we will be discussing about design of various pipe joints. These two pipe joints you have drawn in machine drawing, right? Cotter and knuckle joints. We will be discussing how we found out those dimensions. While drawing in machine drawing, you would have drawn two particular dimensions, right? Those dimensions we will be finding in this subject. What will be the key diameter, what will be the key space length, depth of key. Then similarly for knuckle joint, what will be the eye or knuckles dimension, those eye and other components, various components will be there, right? Those components, what are all the dimensions we have to draw. That dimensions we will be finding using this subject. Okay. Similarly, unit 5 we will be discussing completely about, it is fully dedicated to shaft design, various loading conditions of shaft and designing of those shafts. In this unit we will be discussing some already predefined equations for calculating few dimensions. If you see this fifth unit, few concepts you would have already learnt in previous mechanics of solids itself. We will discuss it while discussing that subject, that unit. Then coming to the textbooks which we have to refer, textbook according to our syllabus they have given it as design of machine elements by Bandari, and also you can see the other two subjects books also, Sharma and Purohit, and also Ganesh Babu and Sridhar, machine elements by these authors. If you see Tata McGraw-Hill, Bandari will be okay, good for studying. But reference book, this from these three books, if you see J. Shigley, Mechanical Engineering Design, this book is available already online. You can download it using Google Chrome itself. You can Google itself. You can search it and you can download this book. You can refer this book for advanced learning concepts. Okay, if you have studied about our syllabus means, then you can learn it. And also if you want to learn our subject syllabus topics also, you can refer this book. According to me, you can use Kurmi. This machine design by Kurmi book is there. That book you can use. Then Sadhu Singh also, it's okay, you can refer this book also, it's also good. Next, if we go for first unit means it's completely discussed. Let's go to the first unit. How many people are there? 36 students are there. Okay. Let's go for first unit. In first unit we will be discussing about basic machine design concepts, introduction. Majorly we will be concentrating on principal stresses, failure theories and welded joints. This is our topic for major topics in first unit. In this slide, can anybody tell what is why this three slides are mentioned as poor design? Three images are mentioned as poor design. Can anybody?
They build without any planning.
Without any planning. Okay. In first image, that is which I am pointing out, why is it called as poor design?
Because
What is
water
the
எல்லாம் stagnant அங்கேயே நிக்குது சார். உள்ள எதுவுமே அந்த
okay
hole
உள்ள
உள்ள
போகல okay right the sewage drainage system is not designed properly in such a way that it's not uh, the water is not going through it okay but if is this okay for long term but if you see this design is not completely poor right it performs some functionality when there is a excess water it will perform perfectly but when there is a very limited water it will not drain completely right so this is somewhat okay but still it is a poor design. So similarly in the second image this is also a poor design. They have not calculated the dimension of the latrine equipment and placed it there. Similarly in the third, what is the failure in this third image?
Handle.
Handle is not there. That is one of
Handle
the
illa, sir.
handle yeah. Then also they have pasted a sticky note stating that pull is there, but there is nothing like any handle or anything to use for this door. So these three examples are for example of poor design. Okay, actually, what is machine design? Let's discuss. What is machine design? It's nothing but creating a new and better machine. Actually, there is machine is already there. Why do we have to design and improve it? There is machine which we are using, but we have to design and improve it only. Designing a machine is needed only to improve the particular already existing version of that machine itself. Okay, so we have to improve any machine to function in a better way, even better way before the better than the previous versions. Okay, so we have to go for machine design. Machine design is nothing but creation of new and better machines and improving the existing ones so that it is economical and it is also a cost effective operation. But in case of machine design, I want to ask one thing. Design, what is design? Can anybody explain what is design?
replica of the actual model.
Pardon, drawing no sir, what you said?
Sketching.
Replica of the actual model.
Okay, replica of actual model. That is a modeling only. We have to say 3D modeling. That is nothing but 3D modeling. Design is nothing but it should involve some process, procedures.
Pictorial representation.
Yeah,
Sketching an idea.
somewhat pictorial representation. Those things and all. Process of design. Okay, it is somewhat one of the process of design. Whatever you are saying is nothing but a individual point in so many points comprising of design. Okay, if you see design is step by step procedural method of performing various operations or tasks to achieve a better product. Okay, if you see it involves various inputs from various areas. That is in this case how we are designing, how a design is born. If in this slide you can see we have to first get the market surveys or information from already existing or users, already existing product users. Okay, those informations with along with various requirements from them, then various concepts like recyclability of that particular product. These things have to be factored in to design any machine or any component. Also you will be discussing about various loading conditions that is acting on that particular machine or particular component. Those things have to be identified and then only we have to design. We cannot simply design any component without any collection of data like these data. Already we have to factor in the material which we are using, which we are going to use for that particular machine or for that particular component. You understood what I am saying? Huh? We have to factor in many factors, that is already existing users, funds that we are having, then materials, then resources, what are the resources we are going to use for that manufacturing of that particular component. If you say we will be needing 10 lathes but we are having only 5 lathes, means we cannot design it perfectly, we cannot achieve the target in time before our product delivery. Some other person will deliver the product effectively. So we have to factor in these these concepts and design. So that's what design is. Design is nothing but a process of various procedures that are factored in to achieve a particular task. Actually, in day-to-day life, we everyone is somewhat making a decision. We will be taking some decisions to perform any task. That process is nothing but design only. If you see, you are going to buy any component in Flipkart or Amazon. If you think, what are all the process that you will do? You will inquire from others, right? You will inquire your friends. You will read the previous reviews that users have bought and given. You will use the reviews and you will check in online about how it is performing. Those are all nothing but some information which you are gathering. Like that, we have to collect various information from each and everything, then only we have to go for design, completely design. Okay, similarly, that's nothing but we are taking several decisions before before performing the particular manufacturing process. We have to take several decisions and formulate the particular manufacturing process. That is nothing but design. These are all the various basic knowledges that subject knowledges that you will be needing for a machine design. For designing any machine, you will be needing some mechanics of machines, means kinematics, motion, movement of that machinery components. Those things we have to study. Strength of material, it comprises almost these all components. Or after strength of material, you have to learn these things also. Similarly, workshop processes like forging, casting. Then engineering drawing concept has to be learned, because how to draw a bolt, how to represent a bolt, those things you have to learn in this for this subject. Mathematics means you have to simply know some formulations, calculation methods. In case of finite element analysis, these things are all for advanced machine design only. But basic machine designing concepts, these things alone is enough, which you have studied already in previous subjects, semester subjects. Now, what are all the considerations for machine design? What are the factors that you have to consider? You have to consider the type of load and stresses acting on that particular machine. If you see, any load that is acting will cause some stress on the particular machine. So you have to consider, first and foremost, you have to consider what load is acting. Is it steady load or variable load or shock load or impact load? What are the applications of that machine will determine the loading condition. Okay, if you see, few machines will have some steady loads. In few machines, variable loading condition will be acting because of loading of using of that particular machine for different weight handling devices. Okay, similarly, stress and strains caused on that machine also determines will also affect the machine design. Okay, then what are all the other important consideration in machine design? Kinematics of machine, that is nothing but the movements that is taking place inside the machine, like gear movements and other belt drive, even if it's any other machine elements or those thing movements and all will contribute some yes, loads or other disabilities. These things will cause some failures in that machine. So we have to consider the kinematics involved in that particular machine. Then selection of material, this is one of the very important role which we have to consider while designing any machine. Knowledge of properties of materials has to be there. We have to know better about the material which we are using. For example, if you are using a cast iron or a steel, what is the Young's modulus or tensile strength property of that materials we have to learn, and we have to use those material properties in designing. Okay, then similarly we have to understand the other properties like strength, hardness, durability, flexibility, weight, resistance to heat and corrosion. These are all the various loading conditions that that directly or indirectly affects the machine's performance. So we have to understand the material in such a way what are the various mechanical properties of that material. Then next, what is the how we have to select the material depending upon these properties: strength, stiffness, elasticity, plasticity, ductility, brittleness, hardness, fatigue, creep. These are all the various material properties, that is the two mechanical properties of the materials which we will be discussing in the next forthcoming slides. Then the fourth factor which we have to consider for designing a machine is nothing but form and size of the parts, how much dimension it has to be and how it will affect the material. Then what is the general procedure in which we will be designing? Actually, if you see in this slide, we will be discussing about the general procedure which is involved in a machine design. In designing any machine, you have to first and foremost you have to consider why we have to design that machine. That is nothing but need or aim of designing that machine. First of all, for what application we are going to use that machine, we have to identify. That is nothing but need or aim. Similarly, we have to collect various information. That is nothing but synthesis. Already pre-existing machine failures, what are the feedbacks from other machine using similarly present machines, what are the defects that we are facing from those machines. Those are all nothing but synthesis, and other similar machines data, what are there, those things contribute synthesis. That is nothing but collection of data. Then analysis of forces, that is what are all the loading conditions that will be taking place in that particular machine or machine element, that we have to identify. Then material selection has to be done. Then only we can design the elements. After collecting these informations, then only we can design. Then we can identify whether it is okay or not. Then we can modify and perform some modifications, and then finalize the product. Then we can draw the detailed drawing, that is nothing but machine drawing final output. Then that drawing can be sent to the production line where they can produce that particular component. This is the complete design process that takes place in a machine design procedure. Okay, then if you see design process, it is nothing but collection of various procedures. That's what I already said. It is a design process is nothing but collection of procedures that help teams design better products. Why do we need to do design process? For the betterment of product. We have to find out some better product than the existing ones. So it comprises various procedures, as I already said. This slides are similar to the previous slides only. I will go to the next slide. In this case, let's discuss about what is the classification of machine design. There is almost 3 types of classification is there: adaptive design, development design, and new design. From the name itself, you can understand what is adaptive, development, and new design. Adaptive is nothing but already existing is adapted for modification, for creating a new product by making some modifications or minor alterations. Okay, in this case, wooden pencil is modified to clutch pencil, then that is mechanical pencil, and also next we have they have manufactured automatic pencil. So this is nothing but the process of adapting, already modifying the existing designs. Next is development design. It is nothing but modifying existing design by using some new idea. In this case, in previous modification method, adaptive design, they have devised a simple upgraded version, but in this case they will be adding adding a new different feature of different method of manufacture to achieve a new product. In this case, development is done, so it is termed as development design. New idea is used. In this case, instead of a number pad, they have modified the number pad to touch phone without any buttons. They have modified it, so this is nothing but development design. Similarly, the third type, if you see, it is nothing but a new design. It uses some already existing concepts only, but not adaptive or development. In this case, you will be you can see this as a unique method of unique product. You will be manufacturing a unique distinct product which is not relating to the any previous versions. It will be somewhat new technology. So new design is somewhat new technology, so this is new design. In case of a machine design, there is a what three types we just saw are nothing but types based on process. The next method, there is another one classification is there. Another one classification is depending on products, that is system design, product design, element design, empirical design. This is nothing but another one of type of classification. Then let's go for the classification of engineering materials. About this slide, you already know the classification of engineering materials. You would have already studied this. It's broadly classified into metals and non-metals. From the non-metals also, it's further classified into ferrous and non-ferrous. Similarly, non-metals means it is polymers or plastics. Then similarly, ceramics, another type, that is nothing but a crystallized product which with heat resistance. These are all the classification of engineering materials. We have to understand how and why we have to use each and every particular materials to understand and apply this material in various machines or elements. This slide also I will go to the next slide. Material property. What is the various classification of material property? It is nothing but we are classifying those materials into depending upon various material properties. Materials have several categories of properties, that is chemical, physical, mechanical and dimensional. If you see, chemical means it is nothing but composition percentage, that is nothing but how much percentage any chemical is present in that particular component. Then physical property, that is nothing but conductivity, sensitivity, those properties like thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity, optical property and combustibility. These are all various properties that defines the physical properties of the any particular material. Similarly, mechanical properties. If you see mechanical properties only, we have to study thoroughly for our subject. We will be needing more knowledge on mechanical properties. Strength, that is nothing but compression or tensile strength. Then toughness, stiffness, elasticity, plasticity, those concepts, mechanical properties also has to be understood for any machine design concept. Then finally, dimensional property is nothing but size and shape of the particular material. Next, mechanical properties. Let's have a brief short information about mechanical properties. If you see mechanical properties, we have various mechanical properties like stiffness, strength, elasticity, plasticity, ductility, malleability, hardness, brittleness, creep, formability, castability, weldability. Let's discuss one by one in a brief manner. Strength, it is nothing but how much an external load is acting and how much capacity of load the material will be able to withstand. That is nothing but strength property, that is it may be tensile or compressive. If you see, this is somewhat compressive and this is tensile. If you see here itself, in this side compressive will be acting, in this side in the pencils another side tensile will be acting. If you can understand what I am saying. In the inner area of this side, it will undergo compression, on the other side it will undergo some tensile load. Okay. Then stiffness is nothing but a property of material which is resistance to elastic deformation. It will not deform and it will not undergo any deformation. It will not bend or deform. So stiffness is one of the important property. Then elasticity. If you see, elasticity is nothing but it will come back to its initial condition. If you apply any loads, in this case we have this slide shows tensile load acting on a specimen. Initially the central area, the material is arranged like this. When the load is applied, it will stretch, bonds will undergo changes, and the material will somewhat elastically extend. Then when we stop applying the load, it will come back to its original position or original dimension. That is nothing but returning to initial condition. It will in this slide, from this slide you can understand what is elasticity. It will undergo some changes, but still it will come back to its original position and dimension will not be changed. So it is nothing but a property of material by virtue of which deformation caused by applied load disappears upon removal of load. That is nothing but simply no deformation will be there after removal of load. During applying load only it will undergo some deformation, that is dimensional change. After the removal of load, the dimension will come back to its initial value and the deformation will not be there. But in case of plasticity, it is completely opposite to the elasticity. It will undergo some permanent deformation without rupture or failure. That's what we have to understand. No failure or rupture of the material will be there, but still it would have undergone any deformation. It will not break or it will not have any holes in it, but still it will deform permanently. Then ductility, it is nothing but ability to draw the material. In this case tungsten or copper, you can extend it and the dimension can be extended, length can be increased using the drawing method into thin wires. Mild steel is the ductile material, for example. So this is nothing but ductility. Then malleability is nothing but somewhat malleable to deform, like sheet metal. You can it can be beaten to thin sheets and it can be increased in length. The most malleable material available is nothing but gold. Okay, you can, that's why we are using it in many ornaments. Aluminium is also a good malleable material. It can be deformed to any shapes. That's why we are using it in aeroplanes and other things. Duralumin is used. Then hardness property. Hardness is nothing but scratch resistant or abrasion resistant. Indentation can also be done and it will not undergo any deformation permanently. Somewhat how much it will resist, that's nothing but hardness. Actually you have studied hardness in labs, right? Which machine you have used, Brinell's, Rockwell or Vickers? Hello? Which material ba? Which method you have used in lab for testing of hardness? Brinell and Rockwell. Okay. Okay. Those material, those testing methods, what you have done? You have simply used an indenter like ball and applied it. How much depth it deformed the material, you can measure it, right? That's what hardness is. It is nothing but how much it resists the material. Then next one is brittleness. Brittleness is nothing but shatter is easily. It will undergo shattering property of that particular material. It will undergo permanent damage and it will break. For example, the brittle material, if we take glass is a brittle material, it will undergo, it will break and it will be broken into pieces. Then creep, if you see, it is nothing but a slow and progressive deformation. That is, when immediately it will not deform, in a time period it will deform, but the load is kept as constant load is there. If you see, for example, any plastic chair is there, over that if you keep any heavy weight object, it will not deform immediately. In due time process, after some 5 to 10 days or 1 month or 1 year itself, 1 year also you can take, if it is not disturbed, it will deform in a some permanent deformation will be there on the chair, but still it would have not immediately deformed. That's what creep is. It depends directly on temperature and stresses. Temperature plays a vital role, that is heat over the particular material. Okay, this is nothing but creep. Similarly, fatigue means it is repetitive load acting on the any material will cause fatigue failure. This has to be understood to study the fatigue fractures occurring on any components. So these are all various properties which we have to consider while designing. Other than these properties, few other properties like safety, cost, weight, ergonomics. Other than material properties, we have to consider the other non technical properties also. That is, for example, cost has to be considered, because cost has to be somewhat feasible for buyers. So we have to consider the factor of cost. Weight also has to be considered. But these are all these are all the factors in point of from the point of view of customers or users. But majorly from a mechanical perspective, if you see, we will be discussing majorly about only mechanical properties only. Okay, you have to consider some ergonomic considerations has to be done. Ergonomics also has to be done. Then what is meant by ergonomic? Can anybody explain what is ergonomic? Ergonomic mean? Hello, what is meant by ergonomic? Can anybody explain? Anybody there?
Economic na cost wise, sir.
Economic illappa, ergonomic. Spelling paru, ERGO. Ergonomic. Ergonomic.
No idea, sir.
Ergonomic means it's nothing but human comfortness. That is not only human, somewhat comfort. It should be comfortable for human, mostly human only. Human beings who are all handling the machine has to feel comfortable. For example, if the machine, if you are having a machine, for example, if you take a lathe, while using lathe, if there is no stool below, there is a table, right? There is a platform to stand over the near the lathe machine. If the stand is not there, if the table or platform is not there, stage is not there, what will be the problem that we will be facing? You may face some risk of electrocution. Then you may face some height discomfort. You will not be feeling somewhat okay. You have to you will be feeling some neck pain or anything. Those things and all comes under ergonomic. You have to feel comfortable while using any machine. You have to feel comfortable. That is nothing but ergonomic. Okay, you understood what I am saying? Ergonomic is nothing but feeling comfortness for a human being. That is nothing but ergonomic. So that is ergonomic. Then what are the manufacturing considerations while designing? Manufacturing means from a manufacturer point of view, you have to consider their uh, easiness. That is nothing but number of parts has to be somewhat okay. If you manufacture many components, small components, and ask the manufacturer to assemble it, then it will be very difficult. Also, you have to use some standard parts. If you are using any other different parts or different dimensions, it will be somewhat not easy for them to manufacture. If you are having a, for example, if you are having a 10 bolt, 10 components, and 5 bolt, sorry, 9 bolt, 10 components means the manufacturer will feel somewhat discomfort, or somewhat will feel it will take more time for them to manufacture in two different dimensions, that too at the nearer rate. You can ask them to manufacture both at a 10 That's what manufacturing design considerations. Standard parts means similar dimension parts can also be used and replaced at several places. It will be easy for them to manufacture. That's nothing but uh, modular design. Then easy accessible or easy assemblable parts are termed as modular design. Then multifunctional parts has to be used. Designing of multifunctional parts, because it can function many function, it will be used in many places, and it can be easily used by the manufacturers. So it will be standard, and it should be modular, and also it should have some multiple functionalities. Then cost wise also it should be very less. Design of parts for ease of manufacturing. Actually, we have to design a part in such a way that manufacturers will feel easy to manufacture. The in a sense, it should not be very easy, but they should feel somewhat comfortable and feasible for them to manufacture. Then shape the parts for minimizing the operation. The operation of the parts operation has to be reduced in such a way the manufacturers will take somewhat okay less time. In that way, we have to design. A design engineer's task has to be comprising these concepts. uh, I think we can view any other videos. I will share a video relating to design. 1 second. So I have posted a assignment in our Google Classroom. You can check it in Google Classroom. I will show the assignment, class section 2, right here. 1 second. Right, I will post it. It's posted only. Topic I will change. Under design of machine element topic, I am posting you a quiz. You can answer that quiz. It will be somewhat easy for you to answer. Only 5 quizzes I have given. You can use that quiz. This is the quiz which I have shared. You can answer it. What is the design process? What is the design process? It is nothing but true or false question. First question is, then the other you have to select which option is correct for adaptive design, development design, and new design. Then what is the properties of a material to undergo some permanent deformation without rupture or failure. Malleability what is meant by malleability. Then hardness property. These 5 questions only today I have given. You can answer it. Then once again I will share any video for design of machine concept. This video will explain what is
A brief description of machine design.
machine design.
In our daily life, we come across different types of machines, such as fan, washing machine, automobiles,
Actually,
etc.
audio will not be there.
All these machines are designed
It's
to
audible for everybody. Can anyone confirm whether audio is audible or not?
No, sir.
No, then
No, sir.
Okay. I'll check it. 1 second. Audio. This problem is faced by everybody. I think I will. I think the audio is not possible. It's not possible for me to share the audio, but you can
perform a definite
visually
function.
understand what this video is.
But have you ever thought how these machines are designed?
How these
To design
machines are
any
designed?
kind of machine,
We have to
a lot of imagination,
Imagine.
innovation, research, processes,
will be
etc.
needed.
are involved.
these things
Creating
will
a
be
plan to design
done.
a machine which performs a specific function is called machine design. It involves obtaining the specification and dimensions of a machine required
Machine design. It actually involves dimension specifications only. It involves finding out various dimensions of any machine or any component. If you see, if you are designing any bolt or any other components like shaft, anything, you will be it's nothing but designing is nothing but finding out the dimension of those components. For example, shaft means what will be the dimension that you will be calculating. If you are designing a shaft, what will you find while designing a shaft? How much diameter it should be manufactured and what the length of the shaft is. These two dimension is enough, right? For designing a shaft means these two dimension is enough. Then apart from these two dimension, you will be having some material property details and other strength properties and all. But the dimension wise, these two is enough. That is the shaft diameter and shaft length. Okay. Similarly, for a car, if you are designing means the dimension of various position of the cars. That is from the front view, what will be the dimension of that car, and the side view, what will be the dimension or length of the car. Okay. In this case, they have mentioned it. The wheels dimension is spacing of two wheels is 2650. That is 2650. Whatever the unit may be, it's not mentioned in this slide.
for its
Video.
desired function.
Like this, we have to
Thus, we
find
can-
out. Machine design is nothing but a process of obtaining various dimensions and specifications of a machine required for its desired function. That is, it should perform the required function effectively by utilizing imagination or scientific principles and engineering techniques. Okay, these all three concepts will be used while designing any machine. Not only technical knowledge, some imagination will be needed for designing a machine. We have to identify some
Say that machine design
Basic
is the process of
engineering
obtaining the
applications.
dimensions and specifications of a machine required for its desired function by utilizing the imagination, scientific principles, and engineering techniques. Machine design can be classified
Classification.
as adaptive design,
adaptive
development design,
development, new
and
design.
new design. Let us briefly discuss about each of these designs. Let us start
Adaptive
with
design.
adaptive design. Consider two different table fans. Looking at the second fan, we can clearly say that it is the modified version of the first fan.
Just a modification.
Here the second fan
of
has been
previous
designed by
version.
modifying
That
the
is
first
nothing
fan.
but adaptive design.
Such type of design where the latest design is obtained by modifying the existing design is called adaptive design.
Adaptive design.
Thus, in adaptive design, the design parameters of the existing machine is adopted
Design parameters of existing machine is adopted. Just the design parameters like dimensions and other concepts are used for
by making little modifications
Making
in the existing design.
latest version.
Note
design.
that adaptive design does not require special knowledge or skills. It can be attempted by the designers through ordinary technical
You
training.
can see the note also. It's nothing but adaptive design does not require special knowledge, but some slight knowledge is needed.
Now
Then
let us discuss
development
about
design.
development design. Consider a table fan and a ceiling fan.
Table fan and ceiling
No
fan.
doubt.
Different applications, somewhat different perception, view point.
Both these fans serve the same purpose. But to get the air from the table fan, one has to sit near it.
Wherever
On the other
person
hand, a
is,
ceiling fan can be placed on the ceiling and one can get air from it being
More
anywhere
area.
inside the room.
It
To
covers
design a
more
ceiling
area and
fan, the
somewhat
designer has
developed
used the same basic
than
working
the
principle
previous
of the
version. Okay, this is nothing but developed design, somewhat developed version of previous model.
existing table fan, but he has changed the idea. Instead of using it in the table, the fan can be used on the ceiling and it can cover more space. Such
That
type
is
of design
development
is called the development design. Thus, in development design, the basic working principle in order to modify the existing design into a new idea. And now,
New design.
let's discuss about new design.
AC
Consider an
or
air
any
cooler.
other, air cooler.
This machine looks completely different from the table fan
Somewhat a better version.
and ceiling fan. Here the designer has designed the machine from the scratch using different scientific theories and engineering techniques. Such type of design is called a new design.
Various theories and applications are used for
Thus,
finding
in
out
new design, a completely new machine
a
is
new
designed
version
by
of
using certain
previously
scientific
existing
theories and engineering techniques.
that is
Note that
ceiling
new
fan
design
or
needs a
table.
lot of research, technical ability and creative thinking. While designing a machine, a designer needs to take certain important points into consideration. These points are listed as follows.
These things we have already discussed.
Related terms are
Okay. Let's stop the session with this presentation. Okay. Any doubt you can contact. You can ask me in the next session. If you can see the notes. I will send the notes soon in our Google Classroom. I would like to wind up the session. Anybody want to ask any doubt or anything? Okay, already somebody has left. Okay, Dinesh must be has left. Okay, okay, but I think we can wind up the session.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.